Okay. Is it live? Yeah, it says it's live. It's on.
Okay, now it is. Yeah, I don't know why it's a little laggy from my end. That's odd.
Okay.
Okay. All right, all right. We are live. We are live.
You're
We
live.
have the beautiful Chenoa Hill here. Let's see. I'm trying to wait around and see if anyone's gonna come in. And that's okay. People will join as they come along and they can always catch the after play.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
gonna share this. I'm gonna share the link on my
Okay.
platform. I can't hear you.
Okay. I was
I
trying
hear
to
you
see if I
now.
could. Yeah, okay. I see some. All right, that's cool. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna see.
Where'd she go?
All right.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
about to say where'd she go? Okay.
Ah, oh, it took me out. Okay.
Yeah.
It did. Okay. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to this live. I have this wonderful guest with me today, you guys. So I've actually been acquainted with my guest for many years, actually.
Yeah.
And it has been a blessing to call her my soul sister.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about you and what you specialize in, and also where we can find you.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me, sis. I appreciate you reaching out to me. So I don't know if this goes across all of our YouTubes or it's just on yours, but for
Oh,
Ann's audience, greetings. So my name is Chenoa. I have a YouTube channel as well. I do readings on there. Sometimes I'll just, do some sound healing sessions. So I am certified in sound healing as well. I do life coaching, jewelry, fashion. So I'm a mother. Um,
cool.
my baby, she turns 15 next week. Actually, yeah.
Oh, they grow so fast. I
I
remember
know
when
she
you
turns
first met,
15.
she was so little. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Time flies. Because when
Yes.
we met, she was still in elementary school when we met.
Right, right. I was like, when
Hmm.
you said 15, I was like, wow, okay, that was
Yeah,
started fast. Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's
So,
wonderful.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, just a quick little intro. So,
Hi, Jordan. Welcome to the live.
greetings. Yeah, I shared the link on
Awesome. Me too.
Instagram. On Instagram.
Awesome.
But yeah, other than that, um, I'm a Taurus. So I'm just, but no, that's pretty
Okay.
much it. I think that's how we met. Did we meet on here? Was it on Facebook? How did we
You know
meet?
what? You know what? It's been so long that I cannot remember how we met.
It
I
was
think
a
it might have
long
been
time.
Instagram. Yeah, it's been a long time. I think it might have been Instagram though. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it was. That's definitely what it was. So we know we can find you on Instagram, right? Because people are starting to come in. Thank you, Dominic.
Yeah.
You're so sweet, honey.
Oh,
You're so
thank you.
sweet. So we can find you on Instagram, right? Um,
Yes, it should be the same as my channel, the Walu Child. So WALU Child, the Walu Child
right,
on
and we can
on
find you on
Instagram.
YouTube. And what's your YouTube?
Same, it's the Walu Child on YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. Okay, so I've been sharing a lot of information and opinions about love and relationships, right? And it's wonderful to, actually hear other people's opinions and takes on these types of subjects, right? Because you never know what type of epiphany or enlightenment, you can gain from other people's, perspectives, right?
Right.
So the first question I have for you is, how do you personally feel about what love is and the energy of love itself?
I want to make sure I
Yeah.
understand the question right. So you're
Okay.
asking what is my perspective on love? Um,
Hmm.
and that could be any type of love, not just
Any
romantic.
type of love, whatever comes to your heart, your mind, your perspective on love in general. Just love itself, the energy of love. How do you feel about it? What is your opinion on that?
I feel the energy of love. Personally, for me, I always say like the more authentic you are, the better it is to attract people in
Mm,
general that are meant for you rather than
right.
performing because I feel like, wounding and trauma and stuff like that, it will have you believe that you need to perform. You need to,
Mhm,
do things to gain love and rather than just being your authentic self.
mhm,
Self-acceptance, accepting another person, I feel like is what real love is. Even if
mhm.
it is things that, you might not agree about a person. It doesn't mean you love them any less. You may not agree with what they do. It's like self-acceptance, like just human, like natural, just human concepts of life. I feel like we make it complicated sometimes. But like I
Yes.
always stress, and it's something I'm learning too, like the more you accept yourself, embrace yourself, love yourself, you're gonna attract the people that's for you, whether that's family, soul family, partners,
Yep.
romantic partners, business
Yep.
opportunities, friendship. So
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm. That's right. That's true. I agree with that. I really do
a
agree with
godly
that because,
love, right? A
huh?
godly love.
Yes, I mean, because love is, I have a video on my channel as well where I talk about the energy of what I feel about love because I feel like people can really don't understand what love really is,
Hmm.
and they like to put love in a box, because
Right.
when we think about love when it comes to relationships, that's one thing, but the real thing about love when it comes to relationships is the
Hmm.
decisions that you make as far as commitment and loyalty and how you conduct yourself with that person, how devoted or committed you want to be to that person, because at the end of the day, love is
Hmm.
not enough to make relationships last,
Work. Hmm.
because you're going to have temptations, you know, you're going to have things that are going to come up in your relationships and different things like that. And then there's the understanding that love is just like this really big energy, this
It
really
is
great big energy, and people love to put love in a
a
box.
box.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So listen, that's awesome. Okay. Let's see. Okay. We're doing great. Okay, now my second question, you ready?
Yes, let's do
Okay.
it.
What is what is your perspective on the definition of soulmates?
hmm. We're gonna talk about twin flames too, right? Because I want to get
Uh-huh.
into that.
So yes, we are. Yes, we are. I think that's going to be the next question I'm going to ask you. Yes.
Okay. I wanted to jump into like tarot real quick. Can we do like a tarot 101 real quick? So like
Who?
a tarot 101 real quick.
Who is this? Y'all are so beautiful. Who is Barry Pooh? Barry
Berry
Boo?
Boo.
Hey girl, thank you. I
Hello.
really appreciate that. Very Boo is a sweetheart. Okay, we
Um
want to focus
greetings.
just we're not gonna do yeah, we're just gonna focus on
Okay.
soulmates. That would be something I would do on my other channel. So I might have you
Okay.
in there. But
Okay.
we just yeah, focus on the questions and whatnot. So
Okay. No, I was just saying like as an example, like when you were saying that basically love is a choice, right? You choose to
mhm,
show up for
mhm,
love. And what I was
right.
like thinking like in my head when I think of the lovers card in the tarot, like in the
Right,
definition of
yeah,
a
yeah.
soulmate,
Mhm.
it's someone that is your soul, like resonates with your soul,
Right.
on a deep level. Whether they mirror back to you the things, because I feel like a soulmate can mirror back both the things that you love or should love about yourself and things that
Mhm,
maybe might be triggering about yourself to work through that. I feel like
mhm,
that's what a soulmate is. And it's
Mm.
not a conditional. You're not, like the lovers, like I said, they're standing, free in the garden. Nobody
Mhm.
is chained like the devil card. Nobody's chained to
Right.
anything. It's not an
Mhm.
attachment, it's a
And we're gonna
connection.
get
It's a
into that
choice.
because I'm gonna ask you a question about karmic
Mm,
attraction. So
yeah.
we're gonna get into that. So it's awesome that you mentioned that. Thank you, Berry Boo, girl. Okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead, girl. Finish because I'm into what you're saying about the
I know.
soulmate.
It's okay. We interacted with the chat too.
Right, that's what we doing. Okay,
But no, I
so
feel like a soulmate. I like the energy of the word soulmates
me too.
versus twin flame. You know,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
so
Mhm,
soul like, and then in order to even find or merge into a soulmate connection, you gotta be tapped into your soul to an extent enough, you know what I mean, to even understand what that means. Because a lot of people, oh, this is my soulmate, just because you feeling something on an emotional level or a physical
mhm.
attraction, it's deep. It's not always
Yeah,
going to be this pretty picture, comfy, cozy
yeah,
feeling all the time. But I feel like it's
yeah.
someone that it does feel like a home. It does feel familiar. It does feel
Mhm,
like a comfortable connection, and comfortable not in the sense of you're playing small, you're not growing or evolving, but more so
mhm.
comfortable in a sense of you feel seen, or you feel like you can be your authentic self, if that makes sense. Even if it's
Okay,
a little
so
challenging.
right. So now, do you feel like, okay, as far as soulmates, right? Do you
hmm
feel like we have many potentials for soulmates, or do you feel like we only have this one soulmate?
When I think of a soul, like, for one, like, your soul is so grand, you can't even really put that into a box. But when I think of
Right.
soulmate, I think of one person that's meant for your soul's mate. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
So when it comes to like the multiple people, I do feel like you can encounter different soul connections, like people that are part of
Hmm.
your soul tribe. I do believe that.
Right.
But I do
Yeah.
believe that there's one, like a divine partner, life partner, whatever,
Yeah.
someone that your soul is,
Thank you,
is
Barry
connected,
Boo. But
connected to.
yes, yeah, yeah, and I have a little bit of a different perspective on that.
Mhm.
But because I really believe that, soulmates can come in many forms. Like I
Mhm.
believe that soulmates are more than just, you know, romantic. I believe we have
Yeah.
soulmate friends. Like I really consider you like a soulmate friend. I really
Yeah.
do
No, I
because
understand that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I really do. So I think, and I feel like I have like my grandbaby. She's like my soulmate grandbaby. I tell you, and I really feel like you connect with people from this like soul level, right? That
mhm.
it goes a little bit deeper than just a surface kind of level connection. And that's kind
Mhm.
of how I see soulmates, but we can get
Yeah.
into that another time. Now
Okay.
I'm going. Okay, you ready? We finna get into. Okay, you ready, girl? We finna get into this. Okay. So now at one point, the whole energy of twin flames was just everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and though it doesn't seem to be as prominent as it was at one time, right? How do you feel about the concept of the twin flame journey, and do you believe in twin flames? What is your take on that?
That's like a complex question, child. Like,
Woo, we
I
got
okay,
time
this
today. We got time today.
because sometimes sometimes it's like you can find the good and the ugly with everything. And like with the whole twin
Mhm.
flame journey thing, I did subscribe to that when it was, maybe around 2013, 14 ish.
Is that, yeah, because I
I
think that's when it
stumbled
was
across
promoted,
that,
like,
and I
yeah.
resonated with it at the time. I
Mhm.
felt like that was the journey I was on. But
Mhm.
there's so many, you know, like you said, you can't put love and connections in a box. It's not surface level. So
Right.
when you're dealing with a situation like that, because I feel like I've had encounters with people where I can say, okay, that person could have been my twin flame and that person could have been,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and just the basis of it, I don't agree with the whole split soul thing.
I don't either.
That would
Yeah.
imply that you're not a whole being. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that concept never resonated with me.
Me
And the
either.
whole like runner chaser, and it's like this whole like love is not going to be on a checklist. Oh, this got to happen. This got to happen.
Right.
And
That
this
part.
is the stages.
That
No.
part.
And some of that stuff sounds like, narcissistic abuse connections in a sense.
Woo, girl, I'm telling you.
Energy vampire, it's
All
the
that.
empath versus narcissist dynamic, and I feel like a lot of, and
Yeah.
then on top of that, it promotes delusion.
Mhm.
Limerence.
Woo!
Limerence.
Okay, tell us about
Um,
limerence. Tell us about
that's a whole
limerence.
other topic too. Like, yeah, there's so
Got
many layers.
time. We got time.
Oh no,
What's
I thought you were
limerence?
saying something. Yeah,
Oh no,
limerence.
no.
It's
Yeah.
common. I feel like we've all probably been in a limerence situation. So
Yeah.
basically, limerence is like when you feel a connection to somebody, but it's
Hmm.
nothing really going on. It's all, just you fantasizing and idealizing and focusing on
Hmm.
this person so much. And oh, if we could only be together. And it's usually somebody that it may be in an inappropriate relationship you shouldn't be, pursuing, or it's somebody that is emotionally not available, right? So
Right.
it's
Right.
something within the self that if you're resonating with that type of energy, it's something within yourself that goes, I know subconsciously I can't have this and I may not even be ready for a real relationship, but I like the idea of this because it's like kind of a comfort zone, but it nonetheless
Hmm.
it's unhealthy. But the whole twin flame thing, like, no, I think that's a
Okay.
dangerous concept in my opinion.
I'm a believer in, anything that you end up in, you can turn it around for your good, right?
Mhm.
And so there's a part of me that most definitely, I'll put it this way, I can't discount someone's journey. So
Yeah.
if someone says, I really feel deep within
Yeah.
myself, um, I'm okay, Barry, that I really feel like I'm in this twin flame journey, then who am I
Mhm.
to say, no, you're not? That's not real. That's not what it is. Because
Yeah.
one thing I feel is that, I begin to ascribe to the twin flame journey myself around, 2012. And
Mhm.
one thing I can say is that it definitely was a healing journey.
Mhm.
I it was definitely ascribing
Yeah.
to that journey. It was definitely something that was eye-opening. And
Mhm.
that's why I cannot discount someone else's journey, because I know what
Yeah.
I myself experienced as I ascribed to the twin flame journey.
Yeah.
So I can understand a lot of people's points of views on that when it
Yeah.
comes to the twin flame journey, because I myself went through some highly spiritual things
Yeah.
connected to the twin flame journey.
Yeah.
And one thing that I can say about the twin flame journey is that the most important thing about the twin flame journey is that it brings you back to a place of self-love.
Mhm.
It really does. It brings you to a place of self understanding. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, you know, people get caught up in this whole twin flame thing, and they're willing to do whatever, for that person and that
Yeah.
energy. And it's like they allow that person to hurt them. They allow that person to make them feel less than, just be
Mhm.
all in the name of, that's my twin. See, that's the
Yeah.
only real problem I have with it,
Yeah.
is that people will accept the treatment, like
Yeah.
bad treatment, from that person that they're calling their twin. So
Yeah.
one thing I always tell people is, no matter if you think somebody is your twin flame, right? Like, life is a journey
Mhm.
marathon. I love
Extravaganza.
Okay, wait, let me say, life is a journey marathon extravaganza. Whatever you make it. I love that. I love that. What's your name, Daweed? I love that. So,
My eyesight is
one
bad.
thing I tell people is, even if you think somebody is your twin flame,
Mhm.
do not let people mistreat you.
Yeah.
I don't care if you think that person is your twin flame. At the end of the day, how do you feel about yourself? Do
Yeah.
you truly love yourself? Irregardless of if you think someone is your twin flame, don't let people mistreat you. Don't let
Yeah.
people, cheat on you and do all these things all in the name of, oh, it's a runner chaser and all this separation and all that, you call it what you want and that's fine. But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, if this person is making you feel bad about yourself on a consistent basis, then you really have to take a look at that and ask yourself, what am I really ascribing to here? What's really going on here? And that's why I learned that the twin flame journey can bring you back to a place of self-love. So anything else you want to say about twin flames
No, I
before
agree
we
with what
move
you
on?
said as well. It's a unique journey within itself. I feel like regardless, because I do believe that there is a person, there is someone for everybody. I do believe that, you know.
Hmm.
And sometimes you do got to go through those connections that
Yep.
whether you want to call it counterfeit or whatever connections where it feels like the real thing or where you want it to work
Hmm.
in that way with, with a
Yep.
person. But
Hmm.
one thing about whatever relationship, whatever title you put on a thing, or if it's a
Hmm.
friendship or family dynamic, you have to love yourself in every situation,
Come on.
you know,
Come on.
in every
Come on.
situation. And if
Right.
there's that lack of love and disrespect, if a person cannot value you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be a turn off. Because I used to be in
Like,
that,
I don't care if you is my twin flame. Like, I'm not finna sit up there and let you disrespect me. Like,
right.
okay, I'll settle for a soulmate or whatever. You know what I mean? Just for example, I'd
Yeah.
rather, I could just go into that. I could go.
Hmm.
I experienced some interesting things. Wow. Thank you, Amandria. Thank you. Um, but yes, girl. Come on, girl. Keep going.
Yeah, so like we've all been there. Like you said, you hold space for people and compassion for them as they go through their
Hmm.
journeys because it's their experience,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And going through those experiences, like myself, I could easily go, "Oh, you were so stupid. You were so dumb. Why'd you do that?" Because I had to learn to love myself more. And it was like
Yes.
that, those connections I thought were soulmates and twin flames and all that stuff. It
Hmm.
also helped me in other relationships with people in general, like to appreciate
Right.
myself more, like to
Hmm.
see, like, no, you got to do some work on that. Like,
Mhm.
again, going back to the first question you asked about how do I perceive love, if
Mhm.
you are not being your whole self, you don't accept yourself, you are going to attract people that don't accept you and embrace you as you
Right.
deserve to be appreciated, because in your mind it's like, okay, I got to do this and I got to do that to be loved and received, but it's not real love though until you really love
Right.
yourself. It's a difference. So I be saying,
Mhm.
I only want
Mhm.
what want me. I don't want nothing that don't want me. That's just
Girl, okay,
that's, I
because
don't want nothing that
I'll
don't
just
want
name a
me.
twin flame. Like, if you don't want me, goodbye. I'm gone. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm
Mhm.
not about to play those type of games. Okay, so with that being said, and because I could really go on and on. Hey, Zena, ooh, Zena here,
Hey, I
Zena
see him. Diane from Australia,
here. That's what I was gonna say. Hey, Diane.
from down under. My accent
Yes.
stuck. I ain't I'm not even too. My accent stuck. I can't do. We're not gonna do that. But
How is
yeah.
it in Australia? Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Zena girl, yes, hello. Okay, so now here we go. Let's get into this. Cause if y'all got any questions before we keep going, cause we got time today. Anybody got any questions? Good day, mate. Good day. So glad you're here and joining us, Diane. So glad you're here, Zena. Beautiful day.
Beautiful.
Yes, gorgeous evening. Yes, I hope everyone has had a wonderful Saturday, and if you have not, I hope it gets better.
Yeah.
Um, you're welcome, love. Okay, so yes, we're glad you're here. Now, okay, Noah, my sis, what is your definition of karmic relationship? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, before we get into that, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, Chenoa. Okay, it says Amandria has a question. Okay, is this question for Chenoa or for me? Okay, which is best? Amandria is asking. Okay, which is best, a soulmate or a twin flame?
You want to answer, or we
Mm.
both answer?
Yeah, we
I'll
both can.
From my perspective, I would go with a soulmate. It just
Hmm.
feels lighter to me in energy, you know.
Yeah. I agree. I agree because that's a great question.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can say both. You can say both because it depends because that's one thing I've learned about the twin flame journey is that people like to think that their journey is supposed to look like the next person.
Hmm.
And that's something I realized about the twin flame journey that just because certain like gurus or people who think that they specialize in twin flames, they want to tell you that it's supposed to go like this, boom, 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 and boom, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them want to tell you that your twin flame is supposed to be the most amazing, relationship ever.
Hmm.
But you know, there's billions of people in the world, and we're all on this certain special type of soul journey here.
Yeah.
And so it would be wise to think and know that your twin flame may not be the best and highest thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I learned, and I don't want to make this all about twin flames, but
No,
um,
go on.
I will just say this. Sometimes your twin flame can be a toxic being.
Yes.
Your Yeah, okay. And so just because someone is your twin flame, it does not mean you have to be with them. And that's something that I don't like about the whole twin flame journey is that gurus and stuff want to make you think that you have to be with your twin flame and you don't. You
It's a
have a
cookie to
choice.
be earned. It's like a
Uh,
cookie. Like you got, it's
yeah,
like a
like
cookie to be
you
earned.
gotta
Like
go
the
through
union.
yeah, like because
Yeah.
people will subject themselves to hurt. They will subject themselves to abuse, all in the name of twin flames, and that's the part that I have an issue with.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is okay? Diane is
So
asking, does everyone find their soulmate or twin flame?
I believe that. Okay, this is okay. Because again, it's subjective. In my opinion, it's subjective, right? Like both twin flame and soulmate, it's a subjective thing. But I feel like
Mhm.
if we take the labels off, right, and we talk about
Right.
the energy experience of each connection, I believe
Mhm.
every person in this life will encounter somebody that sparks something inside of them where they feel this
Mhm.
profound experience, connection. They go through the wave of the ups and downs, the sadness,
Mhm.
the we come together, we separate, and then those people that find someone that they can rest with. And I feel like a soulmate is that, like you said, you feel like your granddaughter's a soulmate. I'm a
Yeah.
soulmate sister to you. You know,
Yeah.
it's people that you can rest in security. It's not this wave of this, oh, it's this up and down, you know. So I feel like
Yeah.
everybody's gonna encounter a quote unquote twin flame. If you take the label off, everyone
Mhm.
I feel like will experience that. If you open yourself up to love and relationships and dating, you're going to experience something, you know,
Like
might
that.
be similar to that. Yeah. And a
Because
soulmate, I do
you just
believe
made
that.
me realize that I remember saying to myself that actually the word twin flame is a human made up word.
Yes, it is.
That's just a label. Okay,
Mhm.
the twin flame is just it's just a label. It
Yeah.
that's just piggybacking on what you said, girl. And Ametria said that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's a journey and experience. And Zena asked something real, or Elsina, she asked something really, really interesting.
Okay, I
She
was gonna
asked,
ask.
uh-huh,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, you.
Okay, she was gonna ask if the twin flame, I'm assuming, if they can be a narcissist.
Mhm.
Yeah, she said.
Mhm.
I
They
believe
sure can.
that. I
They
yeah,
sure can.
I do believe that, and that's why it's not. The goal is not to focus on being with the person. If you believe
Mhm.
in somebody is a mirror to your soul, which that's the basic definition of a twin flame, right? Or one
Yeah.
of the definitions is they are a mirror to your soul. So this person's
Mhm.
going to mirror back to you the things about you that you like and that you don't like, as you will with them. And sometimes it is, things that may be, personality disorders and trauma
Yep.
and things like that. So it's not about focusing on the person so much, making it all about them and making this romantic concept, even though it can manifest through a romantic relationship, obviously, not to make it all
Mhm.
about that, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Hmm. Does that make sense to you, Zena? Because I just feel like anybody can be a narcissist, and that's the thing. It's like,
Mhm.
just because someone is your twin flame doesn't mean they won't have flaws. You
Right.
know, that's one thing I learned on the twin flame journey is that
Mhm.
just because someone is your twin flame doesn't mean they're not a human being.
Mhm.
Like being a twin flame, it does not mean that you're this some sort of godly
Godly.
angelic being, and you're perfect, you're perfection. No, that's a human
Yeah.
too. That
Yeah.
whole twin flame is a human being.
Mhm.
Okay. And they're gonna
Yeah.
have some flaws, they're gonna have some things going on. It is
Yeah.
what it is. Anybody else before we gonna move on to the next question, but
I do have a question for you before we jump skip real quick. What is
okay.
your like what would you say is like one of the number one indicators of a twin flame? Like someone being another person's twin flame for you personally.
For me personally, that person's life, it will be almost a exact like replica of your own life.
Mm,
And I don't like to say that a lot because people they want to have their own view and opinion on what a twin flame is. Thank you,
yeah.
House, liking and subscribing.
Right.
But one thing I found is like that twin flame from even their childhood all the way up into adulthood, you'll be looking at their life and thinking, I went through the exact same type of things.
Mm,
Your twin flame, I don't want to say that because, but I'll just, okay, this is my opinion.
mhm.
If someone is truly your twin flame, their life will mirror your life from the time they were born into wherever you are now. You will notice that that person will go through almost, if not exact, similar situations and circumstances to you. And you'll be
Mhm.
looking like, I just went through that. And now they're going through
Yeah.
that. And then you'll be, and then you'll be looking at what they went through, and you're like, I had the same kind of childhood. I had the exact
Mhm.
same kind of childhood. That is a huge indicator that someone is your twin flame when your lives mirror each other from the
Period.
time you were born into wherever you are now. You'll be
Mhm.
looking like I'm in the same situation, and then they'll go through something, and then you'll turn around and go through something similar to that,
Mhm.
and then you'll go through something, and then the next thing you know, they going through something similar to that as well. And it
Yeah.
won't be no, it won't be just like a one-time thing, like, oh, we just not, no, you're gonna see it consistently. And when you look at their childhood is gonna mirror yours. Y'all are gonna
Yeah.
have the same type of childhood energy and traumas and all of that. That's how I see the twin flame energy. Um,
Mhm.
and I could go on about that. I really could because I was actually shown some things in a dream.
Mhm.
She said, "Yes, agree, exactly, Diane."
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, very. It'll be very similar from like
Similar.
birth all the way into your adulthood, and you will see the mirroring of each other's energy and situations and circumstances. Y'all gonna go through the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So hope I answered that question for you, baby.
That it's an interesting take. I was thinking like it made me think of this anime that I watched where they were like mirroring each other's lives, but at different. They were swapping. It's. I'll share it with you after the live, but it's a
Okay.
good
Okay.
anime.
Yeah. Yeah. Share with me. Yes. Even I could just let me tell you. Yes. Yes. It'll be a whole lot of similarities and actions. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next question for you, Chenoa. What is your definition of karmic relationships? Yes,
Mm.
karmic relationships. Yes, like wow. How do
From
you
my
feel about that?
experience.
What's your take on that? What's your take on karmic? Like, okay, let me say this before you get into it now. Let me
Mhm.
just say a lot of people have a misconception of what the word karma actually means. Okay,
Uh-huh.
karma is not always a bad word. If you actually Google the word karma, it says it is the sum of you receiving whatever it is you
You
put
put
out.
out.
So that can be
Mhm.
good or bad. It can be positive or a challenge. Karma is the sum of whatever you
Mhm.
put out coming back to you.
Yeah.
But people, in the relationship world, and so we have turned the word karmic into like a negative
I do.
connotation.
Yeah.
So you can see it from that perspective as like karmic is a bad connection, or you can
Mhm.
see it as karmic as a purposeful connection. But what is your opinion of what a karmic relationship is?
Yeah. So from
Mhm,
I would say like karmic relationships, they feel like training field connections. Like, okay, from
mhm,
my
mhm,
experience, a karmic relationship, like when I look back at certain connections that I've agreed to go into, because basically it's almost like an agreement. If
mhm,
I got into a
mhm,
relationship knowing that this isn't gonna last and this is just for fun, and then when I'm in the relationship, I forget all of that and I'm trying to make it work and it's not working. It's like, well, you went in with the wrong intent and the wrong energy. So
mhm,
you're gonna have that pushback. If you go into it, with the best intention, like, okay, I'm open minded, I want to see where this goes. And then, you find out that this may not be the right person for you, but it's a learning lesson. Either way it goes, it's something that you're meant to take from that. But I feel like
mhm.
karmically, if you want to talk about it in the spiritual community's term, where it's all bad and all negative,
Right.
every connection, every connection I've been in that I look at is like, oh, it's a karmic person. I knew I
Mhm.
wasn't supposed to be with him. I knew that. And I still went
Ooh,
in. So why would
okay.
it work? Why would it work?
Right.
Because,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah, like
Now, I can say that a lot of times when I ended up in a common relationship, I really didn't think it was nothing like I really thought it was probably a good connection. I really did,
connection.
but for me, I probably didn't realize it was karmic until after, like until
The
after
after
it was
the
said and done. Then I look back at it and I'm like, oh, that was supposed to teach me a lesson. Okay, yeah, I get. Oh, that was a whole lesson right there. Okay, I get. Oh, what was I supposed to learn from this? Okay, let me divulge what was going on right here. What was the thing here that I was supposed to learn from this? Okay,
yeah.
that's sometimes how I see it when it comes to the karmic connections. I
Yeah.
tell you. But
It's
you're
the
right.
aftermath.
There's also that aspect of getting into connections, knowing it was wrong. Like you said, knowing it felt wrong to you. I can get that, but the only reason I can't really say too much about that because I was married for 17 years. So
Yeah.
I was with one person for 17 years. So
Yeah.
um now so about the karmic. So is that it? That's all you want to say about karmic relationships?
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like that sums it up a little bit, and then going back to the self-love thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know something ain't for you, but you think, oh, well, maybe it'll be different if this, or we compromise this, or, and you just go into it blindly. And then,
Yeah.
like you said, after the fact, you're like, dang, that I seen that and that, you
Right.
start putting pieces together. And so,
Yes.
yeah.
And there's always something to learn. Anybody else got any questions before we move on? Okay, we on the subject of karmic relationships. Those connections that be teaching us big lessons.
Yeah.
They
Can
be
I'll
teaching
share
us
a good
lessons.
one? I can share a good karmic relationship I had, if you
Ooh,
don't mind. I
hold on,
just
let me
thought
sip
about
some
this.
water. Give us the tea.
Even though it didn't last. So it was a guy that I dated, briefly. This was years ago. Um, this energy, like, I went into it open minded, like, oh, okay, he's cute. Let me be confident because this is something I'm not the type that likes to approach people like that. I'm kind of shy about that. But I'll
Mhm,
go hit somebody up and be like, hey, get a conversation going. And that's how it started. And we actually
mhm.
were really like close, like friends. That's what I miss most about it is the fact that we were friends. above the
Right.
romantic part. We were friends.
Mhm.
But it would expose a lot of my wounding I still had, like
Yeah.
insecurity, trust issues. It exposed all of that. So when it didn't
Mhm.
work out, I looked at it as more so of something that was kind of like a soft lesson, like not something harsh and heavy, but something,
Mhm.
that was like a graceful, loving, like, you still got work to do. You're not ready to be in a relationship. But it was
Right.
a beautiful experience, but it was still a learning lesson for me.
Right, right. So that was your experience there with the karmic relationship, that it wasn't
Yeah,
all just
negative.
toxic,
Mhm.
but it definitely taught you more about what it is that you really want, what it is that you
Mhm.
really desire, really help you understand where your heart was in that moment and how you wanted to go forward. Yes, that's what
Yeah.
karmic relationship will do. For sure.
Yeah.
What what ID? Okay, you
It's
said this is
so
a weird assignment to take on. What do you mean? Because see, if you talk crazy, you about to get out of here. Like, keep it respectful.
yeah.
What are you talking about? This is a weird assignment. What do you mean? Okay. All right. So here we go. This brings us to the next question for you, love.
Mhm.
Okay. Have you ever experienced? Okay, you just talked about this one connection right now, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so have you ever experienced any relationship or love trauma or pain that you would like to share, and how you got over it?
I
Okay,
have two. I feel like
you
the
got two.
biggest. Ooh,
Okay.
child. Okay,
You
you
can
bring
share
me
both if
back.
you want. Let's start. Okay. You can start with number one. Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's help us out, sis.
and it's funny that this is coming up because North Node is in Pisces right now, and I think they said the
It's still
last
there.
time it was there was when I was in high school, and this
Oh.
relationship happened around that time. This is
Mm.
probably one of the most how do I explain? It was a very heavy relationship. This is my first
Traumatic.
boyfriend, first everything. And it was
Oh.
very toxic, very
Mm.
abusive, like verbally
Mm.
abusive, mentally, emotionally abusive, physically
Wow.
abusive at some point. And how I got over that because I was growing through a lot. Like just imagine a 16-year-old, 17-year-old girl going through this crazy stuff. Um, I had to after the fact, like when I got a little bit older and having the relationship with my daughter's father, which was another very heavy relationship for me too,
Mhm. Mhm.
learning that self worth, self love. I lacked a lot of boundaries and respect of myself. Um,
Mhm.
Loving them or thinking I was loving them more than loving myself, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, when I started helping people with their journeys and stuff like that here on YouTube, like something just I had this passion. I wanted to help people find love and things like that, but I didn't know I was taking on an assignment. I didn't know I was taking on an assignment of helping myself to not helping just other people find love, but helping them heal and helping myself heal through that because it started to
Right.
expose a lot of my trauma. It started to expose like how I really perceive what love was, and it wasn't healthy. It wasn't a healthy concept or perception. I didn't have a healthy perception of myself, if that makes sense
Mhm.
either. So
Mhm.
walking the journey, like you said, the whole, the twin flame experience, everybody has a
Yeah.
different um, lesson that comes with that. And the
Right.
whole going back to self, that's what helped me kind of to release that and then find forgiveness because when I look at their upbringing, because that's a whole nother thing, you got to look at the other person too. Because sometimes we take
Right.
what people do to us personally when a
Yeah.
lot of times it's their own wounding and trauma and their own trying to protect themselves and their defense mechanisms. And it's not to say it's okay what they did. It's just to look
Right.
at it from the perspective of this is why, they may have, treated you like that.
Right.
How can they love you when they don't love themselves? It's the same concept. So yeah,
Exactly. Right.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh no, that was pretty much really I don't know if you want me to go too much in depth, but those were very challenging relationships. A lot of um lack of
You
self
still on
worth
the
and
you still on
love.
the first one, right? Or
The
are
first
you
one,
combining? Okay,
I
so we on the
combined
first
both of
one.
them. The first
Oh, you
one,
combined,
yeah,
so both of them were similar relationships for you, like
yeah,
with the toxicity. You said there
mhm,
was there verbal abuse? What kind
all
of
of
was
it.
it? Really?
All of it.
Wow.
Verbal abuse, mentally, like for a long time. And it's funny because they mirrored, I don't want to get into too much of this. Okay. My family, some of my family members, there's a lot of toxic traits in those relationships and
Really? Okay.
a lot of mirroring. Like one of my caregivers when I was a child would always call me and my siblings idiots, you know?
Oh my God.
And we could be doing something like, clumsy things that a child would do instead of,
Mhm.
being kind about it. It's like, you're an idiot, and yelling on top of that, or telling you that you're stupid or you don't understand, you don't get it. So being in a
Yeah.
relationship with those two men, those words came up. It was like word curses. I had to break that. Hearing that from them,
Yes.
oh, you stupid, or you dumb, you don't know how to do anything right, and then
Oh my
comparing
gosh,
you to
that's the
other women. Those mirrored
mhm.
those relationships as a child. So not only was I dealing with that through them, I had to deal with the childhood trauma and dig that up.
Right,
So yeah.
right. Wow. Okay. Zena says, totally agree. Everything you said makes sense. I've been there. Right. It's definitely self-love needed to get through. Yes, it
Mhm.
is. Yes, it
And you got to be
definitely is.
kind to yourself through it because it's easy to be like, you were stupid, you were dumb, you could have did this better, you should have did that. Rather than
Right.
doing that to yourself, it's like, no, I was in the first instance with the first boyfriend. I was still in
Mhm.
high school as a young girl.
Right.
I didn't know any better. Second relationship with
Mhm.
my daughter's father, I was still like in my late teens going into my early 20s. I didn't have good
Thank you,
role models
Pierre.
to teach me how to love myself. I didn't have that.
Right.
So I
Girl,
had to
I can
teach
relate.
myself that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what it's about, when we think about when we've been in these traumatic relationships and in these painful relationships, we do
Mhm.
have to understand that a lot of times that does come from like childhood traumas and different things. Those the things that we went through are seen reflected to us in our childhood as far as relationships will sometimes show up in those relationships that we get into because it reveals that
Mhm.
unhealed trauma that we need to work on within ourselves as we are allowing it because that's what we seen, that's what we were used to, and it
Yeah.
becomes so normal that we just take it. And we
Mhm.
don't realize that you can actually have a healthy, beautiful relationship, but it does start from within yourself. It does start with self love, and sometimes that's a process for
It is.
sure. When trying to heal those things within ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so awesome, awesome. All right, so now let's get into a little bit about dating. We're gonna get just a little, just a
What is that? What does that look like?
right. What is that? No, let me stop. Okay, so do you have a dating experience that you would like to share with the viewers? Any type of dating experience you want to share with the viewers right now? With that,
Ooh,
and bring into it some love and relationship advice for other people who may be dating right now.
okay. We're always gonna go
Mhm.
back to the self love. We're gonna jump back into that. No,
Okay.
because I don't date. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't
Yeah.
really dated in a long time, child. Like it's been some time. But I will say with one of the experiences, I'm going to correlate it back to self love because going back into the dating world when you've gone through a lot of that healing process, it's going to
Mhm.
be different for you. You're not going to put
Yes.
up with the same stuff that you might have put up with in the past. You're just not. It's
Mm-mm.
like you're not settling. And what I mean by not settling
Yeah.
is not like, oh, he got to have this and he has to have that. Materialistically wise, no, but more
Right.
so of like, okay, are we compatible? I'm paying attention to your character, who you are as a person. Do I really like you? Not just, oh, what is he thinking about me? Does he like me back? I'm, you know, I'm processing dating differently. And if it's
Right.
something that is, shown to me that I feel like is a red flag, I'll address it rather than just sweeping it under the rug or something like that. So the last person I will say that I dated,
Mhm.
we talked on the phone more so, and then there were some things that he was doing that I felt were a little deceptive. And when I
Mhm.
didn't call him out in a negative way, I was like, "Oh, so you went out last night?" And he was like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." And it's funny because I had a dream about him going out to the club, and he didn't tell me. He was trying to make it seem like he went to bed or whatever. So when he told me he broke his phone, I was like, "Oh, you went out?" I just asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, I
Mm.
went out." And I was like, "Oh, I had a dream about it." So I think that freaked him
What?
out. But I noticed that instead of me being combative about that or feeling some type of way. I didn't have any ownership over him. We're just talking. We're just getting to know each other. We're just dating. So
Right.
that attachment of, is this gonna be my husband? Where is this gonna go? Are we gonna end up together? I just allowed it to be what it was. And
Right.
seeing the red flags, I just released it and let it go rather than entertaining it. You know, um, I
Right.
did have another experience, but it was just a date. It didn't exceed that one date, and I think he wanted something to end up happening at the end of the night. So he was
Mhm.
kind enough to make sure I got home safely. But after that, I didn't
Mhm.
hear from him no more because you know how it is nowadays. That's like the dating
Similar.
culture. Like, let's go out, and then after that, we just supposed to hook up. Like, no,
Right.
yeah, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
topic and about celibacy, abstinence of sex and stuff,
Yeah.
and dating. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I feel
So with
self
that, okay, now
love.
I'm not trying to get in your business. Okay,
Yeah,
because I mean, if you don't feel comfortable answering it, believe me, you can say no. I don't want to answer that because I'm gonna tell you, I'm celibate. Okay, that's fine. Do you practice celibacy and abstinence?
I did for no, I don't mind answering this. I did
Okay, good, good, good.
for 6 years. I was abstaining from sex, and I
Mhm,
said that at first it started off me saying I would only, break that until I get married. But then I was like, I'm gonna be honest. If it's somebody that I feel like I can trust with that energy, that sacred
mhm,
exchange, if
mhm.
it's consensual and it's under the right circumstances, I possibly would break that. Um,
Right,
so that's my perception, my choice based off of that. Not so much for religious purposes or to
right.
be to come off as pure to other men and stuff. It was a choice for me to protect my energy,
Mhm,
preserve that sacred
mhm.
energy, and because I
Yeah,
cleansed myself of all those other experiences that I had, which were traumatic. Like the first boyfriend I
right.
told you about, I didn't lose my virginity in no beautiful way. He was not gentle. He was
You-
not kind with it. It was not
Right,
something I really wanted to do, but I did it again, not for myself. I did it for him, and that's just
right,
another.
right.
So yeah,
Dawi says, traveling the world, you need to look for people you can trust and enjoy being around, and that's important. Yes, exactly. Pablo, I don't know what you're talking about, honey.
I was gonna answer too, just to amuse, just give them something to laugh at. People are stupid, but no, yeah, celibacy and
Right,
abstinence. I feel like for me personally, it's more so of a protect, like self protect of your energy and just the
right.
sacred exchange and soul tie. I can't
Yeah.
connect with people on a level of, oh, he just fine, oh, he cute, let's go out, let's have a good time, I'm hot, you hot, let's hook up. I can't
Mhm.
do that. Like that doesn't
Yeah.
resonate with me.
And that's no judgment to people because I know that that's
That's
out here a
yeah,
lot in this world. It
yeah,
that's it has become like the normal for how people
mhm,
operate.
yeah,
And just me personally, I just think that it should be operated in a much better, higher perspective, a higher way. Going into that energy of why we want to, be careful about who we are exchanging those
yeah.
types of connections with that intimacy and different things like that. For sure. For sure. Anyone have any questions? Because I think that I may have come to the end of my questions here.
I hope that
Um,
was a good.
huh?
I said I hope that was entertaining. No, just
Oh yeah, this was awesome. Your energy is beautiful.
Thank
and
you.
you are amazing for
Thank
sure.
you, sis. I
Now,
appreciate you.
um, what was I getting ready to say? Oh, okay. So you guys, we've only been on here for about an hour. That's still a good timing though. Anyone have any questions before we get off, or is there anything you want to share, Shanoa? Any advice? Any love and relationship advice before we end
Oh
this
yeah.
live?
Yeah, I forgot to do that.
Hmm.
Like I said, I am not a guru in dating. I don't date often, but I will say in any relationship, you can apply this to dating, you can apply this to friendship. You must know your worth. Your worth
Hmm.
is priceless. You can't put a tag on your worth. So when you go out into the world connecting with people, you have to love yourself. Like I'm me. Whoever F with me, I'm not gonna cuss. Whoever like me, whoever resonates with me, I welcome you. And if you don't, that's okay. That's cool.
Right.
And when you're dating, don't like Elcina said, when don't think it become obsessive. Yeah. When you become obsessive with like, oh, is this gonna be my husband or my wife? Is this gonna be this? Do they like me? And you get all in your head, you're not experiencing, you're not present, you know what I'm saying, to like really engage and exchange and get the information that you need or that you could process. So go into
Hmm.
it open minded. If there's something that you feel like is a red flag, communicate with that person. Communication is key. Don't make assumptions. Don't think you can read their mind and think
Right.
they're reading yours. Get clarity. And if somebody does not vibe with you, if you're looking for a husband or wife and this person just looking for a good time, then don't try to be like, oh, let me make it a challenge because I like what's going on here. I like this person, or they fine, or she bad. Let me try to, make it happen. If it's not, if y'all not clicking on the basic morals that you got, that's not the person for you. And you can't make somebody want to be with you. That's another thing. Don't waste your time, sis, bro. Don't waste
Exactly.
your time. Don't do that.
Please don't do that
Don't waste
because
your
that'll end.
time.
That's how you end up in the karmics situations.
Yeah. And
When
then you be
you end
like,
up learning some
that
big
red flag
lessons.
was in the beginning at the first date. And I still
Right.
went ahead with
Trust
them
them
5 years
red
later.
flags, y'all.
Mm.
Trust them red flags. Okay. I loved having Shanoa on. We definitely want to bring her back again
I would
at
love
some
to come
point.
back.
Yay!
I want to have you on one of my Fairy Fridays too. I'm gonna start bringing people
Okay.
on for Fairy Friday and talk about. I'm gonna get with you on that
Okay,
too.
yeah, get with me. Yeah, 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 just reach out, because I'm gonna be down with it.
Yeah.
Um, so anybody else got any questions? This was really fun. This was awesome. Before we close out, anybody
Oh, it was
else
a
want to say?
question. Wait, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
sis.
that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask Zena what she meant by that. She says, "When do you think it becomes excessive?" And I was going to ask Zena what it is. Can she elaborate on what she means by that,
Okay.
Zena? Before we go, did you want to elaborate on what you mean by what do you think it means? What do you think it is to become obsessive? Are you speaking about like the twin flame journey? Because that can get a bit obsessive. That energy. Zena, you still here?
Earth to Elcina, where you at, girl? Where you at?
Yeah, you talking about the twin flame obsessive thing. Yeah. Let's okay, I'll put it this way, because I think we kind of touched on it. I don't know if you was in here when we did, but anytime someone is mistreating you, no matter if you think, okay, we're glad, okay, you're still here. Anytime someone is mistreating you, like I tell people, do not accept mistreatment from someone just because you think they're your twin flame, because that's when it
Mhm.
starts to become obsessive, because you're like, but that's my twin flame, that's my twin flame. So I've got to stay on this person. I got
Mhm.
I got to eyes on them. I got to watch everything they do. I got to go on their social media. I have to, um I gotta create fake profiles and watch them when they block me, you know, because
Yeah.
they be doing. Um, and that's when it starts to become obsessive. It's like you become hung up on the idea. that
Mhm.
person is a twin flame, no matter what it is that they're doing, and you're not considering the fact that this is a human being. Like this is a person with flaws. This is a person that's just like you. This is
Mhm.
a when you wait on them, but they disappear for days. Ooh. Now, are we talking about on that action? Are we talking about dating? When you wait on them, but they disappear for days.
Click. I'm just like,
Baby, that's a red flag. That is a
yeah.
hard
Not
to know.
you inconsistent, girl.
That's a big red flag right there. Okay, but and like Chenoa was saying, you can call people out on their stuff. You can, and you can do it in
Aggressive.
a respectful way. You don't have to be Miss Girl, about it. But you can be a grown woman and say, hey, I don't appreciate this, that, and the third. What was going on? Is that absence for a day abuse? Um, I
It
wouldn't
can
call
be.
that abuse. Oh, you
It
gonna say
can.
yes?
It can be. It depends on the person's energy. Like some people are like, okay, say for instance, what you said, call them out. I don't
Mm-hmm.
appreciate this. Give them an opportunity to explain. But if it becomes like a pattern or it's like you notice this person, because some people do things like that to get a reaction and hold power over you, have you stuck in your head like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
when is he coming back? Those are games. That's when it can be abusive, I will say.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's a good point, That is a good point because people will play those kind of head games with you. If they
Yeah.
know that they can do it, they'll do it. If you allow them to do it, they'll do it.
Again,
Um,
especially if they a repeat offender, that's a double, triple red flag.
yes,
So
it
yeah.
is. It is, and you really should not put up with that at all. Um, you have to let that individual know that that's something you will not accept.
Hmm.
And if that means letting them know that you don't appreciate that, so that they won't be, so that they won't try to gaslight you,
Yeah.
and be like, oh, well, you didn't say nothing, you didn't say nothing about it and stuff. At least you can know within yourself, like, I let that person know that I don't
Hmm.
appreciate this type of treatment or whatnot, especially if they don't have a valid, excuse for
Reason.
that. And then when, you can give that person another chance if you choose to. But like Chenoa said, if it becomes something in which it is a repetitive thing, then you really have to retract your energy. That's the
Yeah.
best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Pull your energy all the way back. Pull your
Yeah.
energy all the way back. I'm
Yeah.
watching people go through it now, and that guy only makes themselves available when asked too many times. I'm watching people go through
Yeah. That means they don't want to. And that's that again. What's the slogan? I don't want nothing that don't want me. I didn't know.
it. Period.
Yeah.
Period. And take it from us, me. Okay, like the best thing you can do is retract the best thing that person can do is retract their energy from that being, and allow them to fall away. And
Yeah.
don't chase after a guy. Never chase after them like that, especially when they're
Mm-mm.
doing those type of things right there.
Yeah.
Anybody else? America says 100, 100, 100. Yes, period. So,
Yeah.
anybody else have a question or a concern they would like to get some advice in regards to? We're doing some advice right now, y'all. We're gonna do some love and relationship advice. Yes, you still got a little more time.
Yeah, if they have questions, yeah, I don't
Okay,
mind answering.
okay. So I think it is, but do I address it to the friend or leave it be? You want to answer?
If you
Um,
feel to, you want to answer?
I was gonna say, if this is your friend, you should be able to. Like, if that's really your friend, you should be able to, out of love, say, can we talk about what's going on with you with this guy? Friends usually talk about those type of things with each other, especially good friends.
Yeah.
Um, and the thing is though, because a lot of times though, certain people don't like to be called out on things. And she could turn around and be like, well, that's my business. And
Mhm.
you know, if that's the case, you have to let that person be in that energy. You have to let them be on that journey, because there may be something that they have to learn from that for themselves. And no matter what you do or say, they may still stay in that energy. And right, but she's not taking it. Now, if you can be
Exactly.
direct with the person, you know, be direct. Because a hint, you know, but if you can be direct. You know, I see the way that this guy treats you, and it concerns me, you know, because you're my friend, and I really care about you. You
Yeah.
know, put compassion in it. And if that person still doesn't accept that, or, you know, they're like, well, I love him. Girl, I love him. And I'm gonna sit beside him. Then you have to let that person go through that, because they have to go
Mhm.
through that for a reason. And you just kind of have to love your friend unconditionally, no matter, you know, and be there for them when the chips fall down,
Yeah.
you know, but don't keep driving it in, because don't let it stress you out.
Yeah.
You know, don't let their issues and problems stress you out, Zena. Anybody else need some love and relationship advice? You Zena say you're right. Yeah. You know, come at that person with compassion and love. And if they can't accept that, don't keep bringing it up. Don't keep bringing it up. Just let them live it. Anybody else got any questions, y'all? Um, y'all can definitely find Chenoa on YouTube. You can find her on Instagram. I'm gonna ask for your information later so I can put it in the description box, okay? So that
Okay.
people can find you. You're welcome, Amandria. What's for dinner? I know that's right, because that's what I'm probably about to go do in a minute. Find me some.
You about to cook something? I know I'm hungry too. What are you about to cook? Thank you too, Amanda, for joining. What you about to cook, girl? I'm hungry.
I don't even know. About to find something simple, more than likely.
That's
That's it,
all.
y'all.
That's it. And
All
that's all.
right. I think we was having fun. Look, we can keep going. We can
We
go
just
on and on.
bantering.
Okay, but I might bring her back. It's so much just a little joke. Child, child. But we gonna bring Chenoa back, y'all. Yeah, we might do a different subject. What kind of subject y'all want us to do next time? Zena said she loved this so much. Yes, girl. Thank you. We are gonna do it again. I'm gonna get all my questions. Girl, yes, get them questions together. What you want us to do the next live on, Zena? Is it still gonna? We still on love? Are we not done with love? Are we moving on from love? What y'all want us to do another live on? And also, if and anyone who's in here now, and anyone who is going to look at the replay, if you would like to be a guest on my YouTube channel, please reach out. Um, and we can have a discussion. I can see what it is that you would like to share. We can also do that. So reach out. I'll also put where you can find me as well in the description box if you want to reach out and possibly be a guest on the show, or on the YouTube, on our little YouTube live show. All right, y'all. I want y'all to have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful Saturday evening. You would like to share this, please do. Please do. I really appreciate that. What? Anyway, so yeah, girl, these people.
You are
Okay.
so
So
stupid.
anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching, y'all. Thanks for joining the live channel, and thank you so much for
Thank
being here,
you.
girl. I love you
Thank you for
so
having
much.
me.
Yes. We can do love. She said we can do love and positive. Ooh, love and positive. Oh, girl,
Positive life
I
path.
like positive life paths.
Let's do
I
some
like
light
that, because we might
love.
get it.
Yeah.
Yes, because we might get into some astrology on that. Um, yeah, you know, North Nodes and stuff. Because yes, with North Node. Yes, thank you, Zena. North Node done went into Pisces, y'all. All right, I'm gonna get with my girl later on that. But thank you guys, and y'all have a wonderful evening. Go find your something to eat and stuff. Okay. Bye, Amandria.
Ladies, thank you for
Okay, y'all.
joining.
Let me see. I don't know. Okay, I guess I just was here. Thank you, Chenoa.